They didn't see the tears in Madeira. They didn't hear the silence of a boy alone in a dorm room. Far from home, far from comfort, far from certainty, they only see the goals, the trophies, the physique, the confidence. But Cristiano Ronaldo was not built in stadiums. He was built in moments no one applauded. A skinny kid from a small island, surrounded by limits, born into a life where excuses were easy and greatness felt impossible. A father struggling, a family surviving, a future that offered nothing for free. And inside that environment, something dangerous was forming, not talent alone, but a mindset sharpened by hunger. From the very beginning, Ronaldo understood something most people never do. No one is coming to save you. That understanding becomes the first brick in the Ronaldo formula, mindset. While others played for fun, he played with obsession. While others trained to improve, he trained to dominate. When training ended, his work began. Extra sprints, extra shots, extra hours. Not because someone told him to, but because his mind refused to. Accept average as a destination. Mindset is not what you say, it's what you tolerate. And Ronaldo never tolerated weakness in himself. He believed before there was proof. He believed when the world laughed at his accent, his tears, his rawness. At Sporting Lisbon, when older players mocked him for crying after losses, he didn't toughen up by pretending not to care. He toughened up by deciding he would never lose again. That's belief. Not loud belief, not motivational quote belief. The kind of belief that wakes you up early and keeps you late. The kind that hurts. When he arrived at Manchester United as a teenager, gifted but unfinished, he was talented, but talent was not enough. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't just see flair. He saw fire. And Ferguson did something crucial. He gave Ronaldo clarity. Clarity separates dreams from outcomes. Ronaldo didn't just want to be good. He didn't just want to be famous. He wanted to be the best in the world. And he said it out loud when others were afraid to. Clarity means choosing a target so specific it scares you. And once chosen, everything else becomes noise. He visualized success before it arrived. He saw himself stronger, faster, sharper. He didn't wait for confidence to appear. He trained until confidence had no choice but to follow. This is vision. Vision is seeing the finished version of yourself while still standing in the rough. Draft every sprint, every rep in the gym, every lonely night stretching. While teammates rested, it all pointed toward one image in his mind. Number 1, purpose fuels discipline. And Ronaldo's purpose was not applause, it was legacy. He trained like someone chasing something bigger than today. Nutrition, recovery, sleep, repetition, done with military precision. Not for a season, not for a contract, but for a lifetime of dominance. Discipline is not restriction. Discipline is freedom. Because when you master your habits, you master your future. Ronaldo didn't negotiate with comfort. He outworked it. In the rain, he ran. After losses, he returned to the pitch alone. After victories, he went back to work. Action without emotion, work without excuses. And then came setbacks, criticism, missed chances, knockouts, injuries, doubt from media that once praised him. Resilience is revealed when the spotlight turns harsh. At Real Madrid, pressure was unforgiving. Expectations were suffocating. But Ronaldo didn't shrink, he evolved. He adapted his game. He learned. He transformed from a winger into a machine. Goals became inevitable. Learning is humility in motion. Every season he refined himself. He studied defenders. He improved positioning. He accepted that greatness demands constant adjustment. And through it all, one thing never left him: gratitude. Gratitude for the struggle. Gratitude for the island that made him hungry. Gratitude for the pain that sharpened his edge. Because he knew the journey gave him everything. Adaptability extended his reign. New leagues, new systems, new challenges, same hunger. The formula never changed. Mindset, belief, clarity, vision, purpose, discipline, action, resilience, learning, gratitude, adaptability. This is not luck. This is design. And the lesson is simple but unforgiving. The work never stops. Greatness is rented, and rent is due every day. The world eventually learns your name when you refuse to forget your purpose. Ronaldo never waited for motivation. He engineered it. He understood something brutal and beautiful at the same time. Motivation fades. Standards don't. So he built standards so high that even on his worst days, his minimum crushed most people's best. Look at the way he trained when no cameras were rolling, ice baths when others celebrated, recovery sessions when others slept, nutrition measured, not guessed, sleep treated like strategy, not luxury. Every detail mattered because he knew something most never accept: the gap between good and legendary is microscopic, and discipline lives in that gap. People love to talk about confidence, but confidence is a byproduct. Ronaldo didn't wake up confident, he woke up committed. Confidence came later, after thousands of repetitions stacked quietly on top of each other. After proving to himself, again and again, that he would do the work, whether he felt like it or not. That's where action separates dreamers from builders. Action is not dramatic. Action is boring. Action is repetitive. Action is lonely. And Ronaldo embraced all of it. When critics called him selfish, he refined his game. When they doubted his leadership, he led with performance. When they questioned his longevity, he answered with seasons that defied biology. He didn't argue. He produced. Pressure never broke him, it revealed him. Think about the penalties taken when millions held their breath. The finals. The moments when failure would echo louder than success. Ronaldo didn't avoid those moments, he hunted them. Because pressure is a privilege reserved for those willing to carry responsibility. Responsibility sharpens the soul. And when failure came, as it always does, he didn't romanticize it. He studied it. Missed chances became lessons. Losses became data. Pain became feedback. He treated every setback like a coach, asking one question only: what must change? That mindset is rare. Most people protect their ego. Ronaldo protected his future. He adapted as time moved forward. Speed turned into intelligence. Explosiveness turned into precision. Youthful flair turned into lethal efficiency. While others aged out, he evolved in. Adaptability is survival at the highest level. New countries, new teammates, new systems, same standards, same hunger, same refusal to regress. And through all the noise, the praise, the hate, the comparisons, he stayed anchored. Anchored to the kid who left Madeira with nothing but belief. Anchored to the promise he made to himself: I will see how far discipline can take me. That promise changed everything, because the truth is uncomfortable. Ronaldo is not extraordinary because he never gets tired. He's extraordinary because he never lets tiredness decide. He never lets emotions vote on commitment. He never lets circumstances rewrite his identity. Identity drives behavior, and his identity was forged early. I am the worker. I am the example. I am the standard. That identity carried him through decades at the top, not because it was easy, but because it was earned. So when you watch him now, understand this. You're not witnessing talent. You're witnessing accumulated discipline. Years of choosing pain over comfort, focus over distraction, purpose over pleasure. And the formula remains available. Not just for football, for life. Because greatness doesn't ask where you come from. It asks how hard you're willing to go when no one is watching. Because in the end, what separates legends from memories is not how they start, it's how they finish. Ronaldo never chased comfort. He chased mastery, and mastery demands a price most people refuse to pay for long enough. Years pass, bodies age, motivation dips, fame distracts. Yet he stayed locked in season after season, carrying the same intensity of a boy who had everything to prove. That's the final test of purpose. Purpose isn't loud. Purpose doesn't announce itself. Purpose shows up every day and asks, are you still willing? Willing to train when your name is already known? Willing to push when records already belong to you? Willing to rebuild when the world thinks you should slow down? Ronaldo said yes again and again. He understood that the most dangerous moment is not failure. It's success. When the crowd roared, he stayed focused. When the crowd turned, he stayed focused. When praise came, he stayed focused. When hate followed, he stayed focused. Focus is power, and focus comes from knowing exactly who you are and why you work. He wasn't chasing approval. He was chasing alignment with his vision, his standards, his purpose. That alignment made him dangerous, because a person aligned with their purpose doesn't break easily. They bend, adjust, learn, but they don't quit. Quitting was never part of the equation. Even in moments of visible frustration, when cameras caught emotion spilling over, that wasn't weakness. That was investment. You only hurt deeply when you care deeply. And Ronaldo cared about winning, about improvement, about honoring the work. That level of care demands sacrifice. Sacrifice of comfort, sacrifice of normality, sacrifice of distractions others call balance. Balance is different at the top. At the top, balance means obsession under control, intensity with direction, passion disciplined by structure. Ronaldo mastered that balance. He didn't let his fire burn him out. He used it to forge himself stronger. And that's why his story lasts. Not because of highlights, but because of habits. Habits compound, standards compound. Effort compounds. Day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. This is the part no one can steal from you. You may not lift trophies, but you can lift your standards. You may not score goals, but you can score daily wins against excuses. You may not be watched by millions, but the work still counts, because the formula doesn't care who you are. It only responds to what you do consistently. So if you're tired, rest but don't quit. If you're doubting, refocus but don't retreat. If you're behind, work but don't complain. Ronaldo didn't complain his way to the top. He committed his way there. And commitment is a decision you make every single day. No applause required. No guarantees offered. No permission needed. Just relentless work ethic applied long enough to change your life. If this message lit a fire, don't scroll past it. Stay connected. Subscribe for more cinematic motivation, mindset fuel, and discipline-driven stories designed to push you forward when comfort tries to pull you back. This isn't just content, it's a standard. And once you raise it, never lower it again. And when the lights finally dim, when the stadium empties, when the noise fades into silence, what remains is not the trophies. What remains is the standard you lived by. Cristiano Ronaldo will be remembered for goals, records, and victories, but that's not the real legacy. The real legacy is proof. Proof that discipline can outlast talent. Proof that obsession, when controlled, becomes destiny. Proof that a boy from a small island can bend the world by refusing to bend himself. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't wait for belief from others. He built belief through work. Every early morning, every lonely night, every rep when no one was watching. That is the formula. And now the responsibility shifts, because inspiration without action is entertainment. And this is not meant to entertain you. This is meant to challenge you, to raise your standards, to silence your excuses, to remind you that comfort is expensive and discipline pays dividends for life. You don't need to be Ronaldo. You need to be relentless. Relentless with your habits, relentless with your focus, relentless with the promises you make to yourself, because the same formula that built a legend can build your next level. So if this message hit you, if it lit something inside you, if it reminded you of who you're capable of becoming, don't let it die here. Subscribe to this channel for more life-changing cinematic motivation, more discipline-driven stories, more mindset fuel for the days when motivation disappears and standards must take over. Stay hungry, stay disciplined, stay relentless. This is not the end. This is the work.